I hope you are in the mood for another speed build because that is what we were doing today. So, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I've been really feeling the base game builds. I don't know why, but here we are with another base game starter home. This is like, I think the second or third base game. No, this is the third base game starter that I've done in like a 2-week span. I don't know why, but I've just been really feeling it. So I wanted to challenge myself with a base game modern starter because I feel like a lot of the base game furniture isn't very modern. So I thought I could be creative and try to make it work. I'll go ahead and make sure to show a picture on the screen of the house that I was looking at because I definitely wasn't copying that house, but I was very, very much looking at that house. I chose a small looking modern house and just kind of ran with it and then kind of added my own stuff to it to make it look like it belonged in The Sims. Because you know how it is with Sims. You find a house on Pinterest, you try to copy it in Sims, and then you realize, oh, this looks weird. So then you have to make it look good in Sims. So that's what I did with this house. I feel like it was actually not as challenging as I thought it was gonna be in terms of picking out things that looked pretty modern. So that was fun. That I think it actually worked. And one part of this house that I really love is the garage. It's a pointless feature. We all know that cars just aren't a thing in The Sims 4. That's fine. We're all we've accepted it. I hope. I don't know. Maybe we have. Have we really though? Probably not. I thought that the garage on this house was just so cute. And I say this in like every video, but I love the way the visual interest looked on the front. It just looks so good. That pop of black, and a trick that I have seen other people do. I don't even remember who I saw do it first. Anyways, doing a paneling and then taking these small base game rectangular windows, doing those in a line above the top. It just looks like a garage door. And in base game, I don't think that there's any garage doors. I'm pretty sure that the garage doors that exist in the game are specifically from City Living. So if you do have base game only or not City Living, that's a great way to include a garage in your build if you want to. You can just choose a paneling, put some windows on top, and bam, you have a garage. It's great. So for this build, for some reason, I didn't like the roof, the way it translated to The Sims. So I thought I would do the half walls around the top to really lend itself to the modern style. And I think it works out, except for a starter home, that's really expensive. So a lot of those do end up going away just because I needed the extra money. You'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit whenever I start deleting those. But I think that this worked really well in base game. I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked because, as I mentioned, there's just not a ton of modern things in base game. Looking back at this house, I think I could have made it a tiny bit smaller. I feel like it's a little bit big for a starter home, especially near the end. I'm really strapped for cash. It was kind of rough. I think that the shape looks really great too. I don't know. Oh, I remember. Okay, let me backpack. Let me backpack. Let me backtrack. So the other day, whenever I built this, I was rebuilding, or no, not rebuilding. I was making a new land grab mansion. I'm still working on that. I'll eventually do a speed build for it. It's just the longest process ever. I don't know why it's taking so long. Anyways, that doesn't matter. I was building that, and then for some reason, I was like, you know what, screw this. I want to build a modern starter home. I want something small. So I borrowed a lot of the styles and features that I was building on that house for this one. So I inspired myself. I don't even know why that's relevant. But that's what made me think of like all the outside columns, because if you build a box in The Sims and just put windows all around it and say, bam, modern house, it doesn't look good. I feel like you have to have these pillars to add, once again, the visual interest to the outside. So I think that those pillars really help. That's just a little tip if you're trying to build modern houses. Add some walls, some pillars, or something to, I say pillars, they're just the little square rooms. I think adding those to the outside really help it versus like glass window, glass window, glass window, glass window, all side by side. It just looks sad and flat in The Sims. It's just not good. So for this house, the plan was to not have a dining room, but instead to have a island, to have an island that acts as the dining space and then a couch behind, because it will save on room, save on money. I thought it just made the most sense, especially since it expands the kitchen. Also, I had kind of a big brain moment to save on money. I used the default concrete that comes in the house, but changed the color. Cost $0 to do that. I only wish that the default walls didn't look the way they did, because I would have done the same with the walls. But I just gave the floors the black concrete color instead, so it didn't look like the sad default stuff. So I gave them the black concrete floors, and then in their bedrooms, I wanted to spice it up a little bit, make it look less boring. So that's why they have colored concrete in their rooms. I think it might change for some of them. I don't remember right off the top of my head. We'll find out in a second. I think for this build, the furniture that I picked out works for the most part. Like I said, base game furniture doesn't really lend itself to being modern. It's more so fits in with Willow Creek, I think. I don't know. I mean, in Oasis Springs, that's supposed to be more modern. But also, I don't know. You can't really afford much, especially with only 3 people. You couldn't really afford much, so I was working with what I had. I think that the pink couch with the blue walls looked really pretty. Maybe not the most modern. It probably would have been better just to go with like a black and white theme. But I don't know. I thought that was boring, so I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to make it look interesting, so that's why I chose to do some more colorful stuff. At this point, I'm starting to delete some of the walls to the pillars because I was out of money or running out of it very quickly. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do something. So I was just deleting all the extra walls that I didn't technically need. I thought it looked better with the walls, but I needed the money, so I just deleted all that, got some extra cash, managed to afford some extra things because I really wanted an entryway, I really wanted a TV, and stuff that actually makes the home a little bit more playable for a starter budget. I unfortunately had to choose the cheapest cabinets. We can all agree, no, I don't want to generalize everyone, but I feel like most of us can agree that we don't like those cabinets, especially that default blue swatch. It's not good. Oh, maybe I should do a build completely centered around the default blue swatch. Like the kitchen, that's the like feature of the home is the blue, ugly blue base game counters. Let me know if that'd be interesting because I think that sounds kind of fun. I will do it if people. I don't like those counters at all. I don't like the cheapest fridge. It's just those cheap options for the kitchen. Really, I feel like make or break the kitchen, and it just breaks it. So I feel like if you moved into this house with your Sims, you could, they could get jobs, and then you could renovate it and put in better things and make it fit their style a little bit better. Also, I feel like the kids' room up there was kind of awkward in terms of shape. Yeah, I should have done maybe one shared bathroom upstairs and maybe made that bathroom into another room. I don't know. I feel like it could have been done slightly different, but that's okay. I was just really determined to have a master with an ensuite. So that's why it is the way it is. I also have another complaint with some of the furniture. The bed does not fit the space very well. Like, look at those covers. That does not scream modern to me, but that was the cheapest bed, so I had to make it work. Yeah, pretty sure that is the cheapest bed. So I was just trying to make it work. That's why I did some blue floors, and I don't know. I think another complaint that I had with this build is the doors, on the interior doors. Those doors that I chose aren't really modern, but I don't remember why I chose them. I don't remember if they were like the cheapest or if the other doors didn't look good. I don't know. I feel like those could have been done differently. I probably should have not done the blue floors, but I wanted it to be cool. I wanted it to be pretty. I think the outside is the best part of this build once it's done. I also had to delete more walls from the top part, unfortunately. I did like the half walls there in the middle of the roof, but strapped for cash. Had to do what I had to do, so those were gone. Also, I think I don't even use curtains because they ended up looking weird. I don't know why. I just could not find any curtains that properly fit the space and fit those windows. So what you see here, pretty sure that gets undone. At this point, I scooted the house back because in the original photo that I looked at, that was a garage. Obviously, in this house, it's like a converted garage because garages don't matter. So to make the furniture fit, we're pretending that this is a converted garage. But I think it really works out well for the space. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter in The Sims. Garages are pointless. Also, I did not realize how little money I had to work with for the outside. Holy crap. I have like no money left. I think I landscaped this thing completely debugged because, yeah, 175 simoleons. Like, what am I getting with that? Nothing. They don't even have toilet paper in this house. I always forget toilet paper. You'll never probably get that in a build from me. So at this point, I wanted the house to look like the picture. So I was trying to paint it like the similar stone and some of the similar like white, it wasn't stucco, maybe plaster on the outside. I don't really know what it was on the original house, but I was trying to make it match that as close as I could. I also had to make the house a little bit smaller because I want to say I was running out of money. So I was like, this is what I have to do. I need money. So scooted the house in. They lost some nightstands, had to delete some curtains. That makes sense. I was wondering how I furnished the entire outside with like no money. I made the house smaller. Makes sense. Gotta do what you gotta do. Also, I feel like I could have expanded those rooms again and made the hallway smaller. I don't know why I chose to do that. So at this point, this is the finished exterior. Right now it looks kind of sad and plain, a little bit weird. Once there's trees and stuff and landscaping, it looks much better, I promise. So at this point, I'm kind of drawing out the areas for the landscaping. Pro tip, always put dirt under your landscaping. If you don't do that, if you're still like learning how to build, always put dirt under your landscaping. It just makes it look more realistic, and I think that really helps the build just go to the next level. And if you don't like landscaping, if you do want your builds to look better, you need to landscape, unfortunately. Or you could just live in the apartments. If you have city living or eco lifestyle, you could just live there because there's no landscaping there, which is really great, honestly. So this part, I wanted a car to be in the driveway because there's the garage door, there's the driveway, we have to have a car. This is just a debug car, obviously not functional, not a thing. So I put the car in the driveway, and since it was on like a gravel path, I took a darker color gravel terrain paint and added in like the detail of where the where the car has like run over the gravel. So that's why I did the two little tire tracks through it, and I thought it was such a cute detail. I love it. I really like the exterior of this home way more than the interior, which I think it works out pretty well that way, because that way if you guys want to download it, you can move in, whether you have base game or more than base game. You can download it, have your Sims get a job, renovate the inside if you like the outside as much as I like the outside. There's so much you can do with this. That's why I like doing the base game homes, because you guys can take them, make it fit your game and your play style. So I hope you guys like the base game homes. Let me know if you want to see more base game builds. I think it's a fun challenge, and I'm definitely interested in doing more. Also, my favorite part of this build is the car with the headlights. It's not really headlights. It's actually one of those lights from Debug, if you know which ones I'm talking about. It's those square ones that just add like an ambient light. So I put that, like, kind of clipped it into the wall of the garage. So it made it look like the car's headlights are on. That's why I'm showing it at night, so you can see that. And oh my god, I thought it turned out so cute. I just love the way it looks. I don't know what it is. I just feel like it adds a little bit of realism to the thing. Obviously, the car's gonna look like it's turned on. Its headlights are on 24/7. But that's fine, because it just adds the smallest touch of realism. And I just felt so good about that. That's like easily my favorite part of this build. The interior is okay. It's a starter home. I feel like your interiors are always gonna only ever be okay, unless you're just really good at building. I feel like I'm good at building, but I'm not amazing. So that's why the interiors are kind of a struggle for me. If you guys like this build and you want to play with it in your game, you can download it. It is on the gallery. My EA ID is Ashley Cherie YT. So it's like my YouTube name, Ashley Cherie plus YT at the end. Don't forget that. So you can go download this and you can put it in your game now. And I really hope you guys enjoy this video and like this build. Let me know what builds you want to see next. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. I would love to build them. So just let me know. See you next time.